this is gonna be our first Q&A on this channel, and I'm super excited to do it. Hey there bosses, G Nontra here. You're welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on this channel we talk about freelance business and especially writing and how you can use that to create more freedom and family time, and I give you my best tips to help you succeed as a creative. If that sounds like a cup of tea, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button is somewhere here. Alright, so today we're doing, I have my notes here, so that's why I'm looking down. Very first Q&A. So I put it out on Instagram, I had put it out in my Facebook community for people to ask me questions that I could potentially answer on this channel, because I've never done anything like this, and I always think that Q&As are fun. I like watching Q&As, and I was like, why don't I do one? So people ask me questions, and here we are. So one of the first questions I got: how did you become a blogger? How did you start working from home? And I thought that was such a great question. So my blogging journey actually began somewhere in 2012. I just happened to be looking online for opportunities to make extra money. I was like in grad school and I was pretty broke and I was just looking for something like maybe a babysitting something. I was just looking for something that could potentially help me earn some extra money. And so I went on Craigslist to kind of look to see if I would find anybody that needed help with something that I could get paid for. And then I found this person that was advertising, you know, like become an affiliate for a product. And I clicked through, against my better judgment, clicked through that link, and then I just found this guy talking about affiliate marketing, and I don't even remember his name, but he was talking about affiliate marketing for this computer software. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I went to Google and I typed in what is affiliate marketing, and one of the very first videos that came up was Lisa Irby. And I'm gonna link her channel below this video. And Lisa is an incredible blogger and business owner who has been, she's like one of the OGs of this whole online space. And she was talking about it in her videos. I started to kind of binge watching her videos, and that led me to start my very first blog. But of course I was in grad school, so I didn't start working from home then. So for the past 6 years, basically, I've just been running my entire business basically as a side hustle. I had a job. I went to grad school for microbiology and immunology to become a scientist. I was working in a lab. I was doing my postdoctoral research until May of 2018. And then in May of 2018, the way that research works is that you need funding to do research. Unfortunately for my lab, our research funding ran out. So that meant that the whole team, almost everybody on the team except for the students, the two PhD students that were in our team, kept their jobs, but the rest of us lost our jobs. So at the end of May 2018, I came home and I started working on my business full time. So that's the short, condensed form of that particular story. The next question was, any tips for someone wanting to start a blog? And this was from Chandra on Instagram. So my answer to that question, any tips, like that's such a broad question, but my biggest tip for you is just be open to learning. Start the blog, like choose a topic. And I'm giving you the tips already. Number one, choose a topic, right? So choose a topic you want to write about. It could be a really broad topic, or it could be a really, really niche down topic. Choose something that you can talk about, whether that's beauty or fitness or entrepreneurship, or, you know, writing, whatever. I talk about what I know about. So talk about things you know about or things that you're discovering on your journey. That's the first thing. Number two, be open to learning. You know, a lot of the time, people don't seek to better themselves. People don't seek to be better in their journey. And so they're using tactics from 2008, and this is 2018. Tactics that were used a decade ago do not work. In fact, a tactic that was used just 2 years ago may not work today. So always be learning. However, don't also get caught up in the fear of missing out. And that means be careful not to just chase every shiny object that is out there. Just because somebody says you make money with courses doesn't mean you should go create a course. Just because somebody says they make money with affiliates which is a great way to make money, by the way, doesn't mean that if you're not making money with affiliates, you cannot try something else. So don't just chase shiny objects. Like, focus on one thing until you see success. And I think that was a mistake I made in the beginning, but thankfully I got that advice fairly early on. And so learning to just focus on one thing until I saw success has really been helpful. Once in a while I do allow FOMO to get to me and I start beginning to chase after the like shiny things, but by and large I've tried to just stick with it. You know, stick with one thing. If you want to be on Instagram, be on Instagram. You want to be on YouTube, be on YouTube. You want to, wherever you want to be there, and be there big. Okay, so that's my biggest advice, is like, choose a topic, always be learning, but be careful not to get caught up in shiny object syndrome. Next question is, any tips on balancing business, motherhood, and self-care? I think that's a great question, and it's also a question I used to have a very perfect answer for, which I don't have anymore. and so my answer to that question is, it depends on what you prioritize. I stopped trying to balance it all, because you can't balance it all, and trying to balance it all could actually put you in a situation where you need to seek psychiatric help, like, true story. Because we only have 24 hours in a day, and you're lucky as a mom if you get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Then trying to fit in cooking, cleaning, taking the kids to school, making sure they're okay, and running your business, and maybe you even have a full-time job. It's just impossible to fit it all in. So now what I do is I choose days to prioritize things. And so maybe one day you choose to prioritize cleaning up your house. Or you choose one day to prioritize on just focusing on your child, or you choose one day where you just focus on your business, where you're not concerned about what your house looks like. And literally, like, this has happened where you will walk into my house and my house is a mess, but that day I did a lot of client work. I knocked a lot of work off my plate and got paid, because getting paid is super important to me. It's what keeps the lights on, it's what keeps me a roof over my head. And so focusing that day on getting paid was the focus. But then having a child, that's also important. So there's a day where I won't do much business, maybe minimal amounts of business, whilst I focus on my son. So you have to like just divide and conquer, because you simply cannot balance it all. There's this actually really funny video that Facebook icon Christina Kuzmic put up about balancing it all, right, as a woman. And it's hard, and it's an impossible standard, and I don't know why sometimes that gets put on us so much, but it's an impossible standard. And so if you can't do it all, it's okay. Like, sometimes it's okay to just let certain things go, but at the same time, all these things, self-care is important, your child is important, business is important. So prioritize what you want to do on specific days and do it that way, instead of trying to balance everything in one day. Last question, because I'm not as popular as some of the vloggers out there, okay, so I only got a few questions this time around, but I'm pretty sure next time I do this I'll have a long list of questions, is what are some quick editing tips for novices for video? My biggest tip is, number one, invest in some professional software. Stop using Windows Movie Maker. Like, it doesn't do much for you. Invest in something. I invested in Filmora. It's basic, but it gets the things I want to get done. I paid about $60 or $70 for it, for a lifetime license, about 2 years ago, and it has more than served the $60 or $70 I paid for it. So invest in professional software. That's the first thing. The second thing is to include, and this has been the tip I use with a lot of my videos to increase watch time, is to break up your video. Do you understand? Like you'll see that in this video I have a lot of jump cuts, and I have a jump cut tutorial right here you can check out. Create jump cuts in the video. You know, break up the video with text, with images, with zooming in and zooming out. Like, when you're editing, you need to add all these elements so that when somebody is watching you, they're not bored, and it's not monotone, and it's not like just one continuous video with no, because the human brain needs like some breaks to keep the person engaged and involved in the video. And with YouTube, that's huge. You want to keep people engaged with your video. So including jump cuts, breaking it up with text and images and zooming in and zooming out, maybe some music and sound effects. These are all really, really good little things that you can do in your videos to keep people engaged. Alright guys, so that is it for this first Q&A video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And you know, if you have any more questions you want me to answer the next time, leave them in the comments below.